Welcome and thank you for joining us for the holiday season 2021 meditation days. Great, you could find the time to meditate. Christmas is usually quite a busy and it can be also a stressful time of the year, so it is really important in those periods of time to find time and space to develop peacefulness, to get in touch with peace. So just a quick word about why these sessions are called guidance into meditation and not guided meditations. Guided meditations would usually start and then there is a guidance on and off, and we meditate together for a certain period of time and then we all finish together, and there is also a bell that is rung at the beginning and very often a bell that is rung at the end. So the idea with this guidance into meditation is that there will be guidance from me, sometimes a little bit longer, sometimes a little bit shorter, but the idea is that when that guidance into meditation finishes, that you just carry on meditating by yourself. So we don't finish the meditation together. So you're not forced to, meditate for a certain period of time. And even if, the guidance that I'm offering is not useful at that time, then please feel free to just, start listening, and then when you get into your own meditation, you can just switch it off and carry on with your own meditation. So the title for this first session is "What's Done is Finished." Because when we start a meditation retreat, meditation days, or even if we start a meditation session, there is always some loose ends that we weren't able to tie up. The world just doesn't work in that way that everything is perfect and everything falls into place and then we can meditate. We have to meditate in spite of things not being finished. And that's this famous story that Ajahn Brahm quite often tells. It's a story that happened in Thailand, and it was in Ajahn Bodhidhaja's monastery. So the monks and nuns, the monastics, they usually have a 3-month retreat, and that was just during that period. So there was a meditation hall which was being built at that time in his monastery, and before the rains retreat he would send all the workers back home because he wanted to make sure that there isn't noise, that there isn't discussion, that there isn't busyness, that there isn't going backwards and forwards and thinking about how to build things or not to build things and get supplies in, and just all that is connected with building work. And so once the builders were sent home, there were some visitors in his monastery, and they walked past that unfinished building and they asked Ajahn Bodhidhaja, when is the hall going to be finished? And then he said, well, it is finished. And the visitors were a bit puzzled by that statement and said, how can it be finished? I mean, there is no roof, there is no glass in the windows, there is open cement bags, there is wood all over the place. Surely this hall isn't finished. And then he famously said, what's done is finished. So if we can learn to set things aside when we sit down to meditate, or when we launch into a meditation retreat into a couple of days of more seclusion, of more silence. And when we can say in our minds, what's done is finished, then it will be much, much smoother. Then we will actually be able to let go. So that's what I would like to practice with you. Just one more other quick simile there that sometimes is used to describe meditation, especially to children, because it kind of visualizes what's going on, and it's this picture of the snow globe. So you have all these snow particles in this snow globe going around, and that's usually what happens during our day-to-day life. So our minds at that time are scattered, and in order to create clarity and to let those things settle, we have to learn to just step back and not getting involved in things. Thinking of that phrase, what's done is finished. Okay, let's meditate together. And let us remember during this meditation, what is done is finished. We don't have to get involved. We can let the things settle. And we can see how they calm down, how they get stilled. Why? Because we know that there is no business to be done. Now is not the time for business and busyness. So find a comfortable position. Doesn't really matter if it's on a chair or on a stool, on a cushion or on a mat on the floor. Find a position you can settle into. And it also helps if you can gently let your eyelids close. That way you can get in touch with your body. It's much easier if you're not seeing, to feel what is going on in your body. And let's see if we can, during this meditation, stop to interfere. Stop to be in charge. Or think we are in charge. Imagine that your body is like a puppet. And that puppet has many, many strings attached to it. And when those strings get pulled, that's when the body moves. But during meditation, we remember the phrase, what's done is finished. So we can put the puppet away. We can store it away. We can let it rest for a little while. And that means the puppet is put away and put on a hook. So the only wire or the only string which is not completely loose is the one which is attached to the middle of the head, right at the top above the spine. So let's see if you can feel that string holding the head with the chin maybe slightly tucked in, with a slightly stretched neck, and then with the spine following suit all the way down to the hips. But even this string is not being pulled. It's basically the gravity and the relaxation which makes sure that everything aligns. That everything is hanging actually loosely on that string, on that piece of wire. So let the gravity do its job. That way you are upright, but not uptight. You are relaxed, hanging loose. See if you can let the body settle into this natural, soft, upright position. If you feel at any point in the beginning of the meditation that part of your body is not quite comfortable yet, feel free to wiggle and shuffle a little bit in order to be able to really hang loose. So if something is still a little bit tight, or if there is pressure or any of your body parts, now is the time to adjust that. And then let that string which is attached to the top of your head naturally do its job. And then, as there is no work to be done for the puppeteer, no business, the strings attached to the hands and to the arms can be completely loose. Let the weight, the gravity take over. So that your fingers and hands, lower arms and upper arms, and elbows have no work to be done. And the same for your shoulders. And for the muscles in your neck. They're held by the main string. They're held by the spine. But everything else can relax and hang loose. And also your feet, your toes, your legs, your knees, your hips. Don't have any work that needs to be done now. Now it's time for them to rest, to settle. To calm down and relax. Any strings that are attached to them are now completely loose. Nothing is pulling. So they can just follow gravity as well. And be held by the floor, the mat, the cushion, the chair or the stool. As if they were melting into them. Loose and relaxed. And let us stick with this picture of the puppeteer pulling the strings. But now actually the puppeteer is on holiday. So all those strings that would usually pull the muscles around our eyes, cheeks, mouth and jaw can be loosened, let go of. So that those muscles can get back into their natural, relaxed state. And also the muscles on the side of your head and the back of your head. Under the skin, inside of the body. Let them rest. Let them settle and relax. And then let us go down to the chest, and also the belly. And let all the strings there loosen and relax.
all the muscles around your chest, in your belly, and also in the upper and the lower back. Let them ease. Let them become smooth and relaxed. And also all the muscles in your hips, in the pelvic area. See if any strings that are pulled can now be let go of. So that the whole area there can also relax. We've already done the arms and the legs, but maybe there is still some holding, some strings that are not loosened completely on the inside of the arms, of the inside of the legs. Let them settle as well. So that this body of ours, so that these muscles can all just hang loose on that one string which is attached to the top of the head, holding us, and the ground supporting us. And as we've done with our bodies now, we can do the same with our emotions, with our thoughts. It's like they're pushed and pulled by those strings attached to them. But when those strings are loose, then they naturally settle. They naturally calm down. They relax and they rest. And when everything has calmed down, then there will be the breath. But again, the natural breath. See if you can make sure that the breath is not pushed or pulled, lengthened or shortened. That the strings are loose. So it can move in its natural rhythm. And also relax and settle. I'll let you go now to enjoy the rest of the meditation for however long you want to sit, for however long you want to rest. And let things settle.